It all started with the problem with the horses. The first stall had another horse in it.
All they would say is, my husband's out of town right now, he's a truck driver, I've been in the hospital, as soon as we get some money, we'll be in today.
The stall we picked, the stall she was supposed to go into, there was another horse.
I've never said that I don't owe them money.
That's completely unreasonable.
If you want to fight, I can get you boxing gloves, but we're not here for that. My first case ever with worms.
Come here, Sophie. Get him, Rusty.
Can I say something?
No. If she hadn't had an oral agreement, how do you do? I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint, ma'am. You had a written lease with the defendants to board their horse?
Yes.
May I see a copy of it?
Yes.
Have you seen this agreement? You must have a copy of it.
There's two of them, and I want to know which one that is. There's one dated 11/1, and there's one dated 12/20, which is the most accurate.
They're for two different horses, Your Honor.
The second one covers both horses, and she has all the paperwork with the receipts because they were given
What's
her.
the name of your horse?
Missy, and we had a second horse, Sandy, which was changed on 12/20.
This contract that she gave me, which is Missy.
Correct.
The
Correct.
second one says Sandy.
There was two done at the same time, and she took both pieces of paper when we complained and the receipts to them, and that's why she has the yellow copy in her possession, which should be our copy.
We signed a new agreement with them for a second horse, or for two horses, her, Missy, and Sandy, on 12/20, and we don't have a copy of it because she took our only copy that we had.
Which
Well,
would be
this
about
second one that she's given me is only Sandy, is the horse referred to.
Correct. On the same day, we signed a different agreement for
that it?
Missy.
I don't have it. I have the yellow contract that was signed for Sandy.
Correct.
That was which one I gave you a copy of.
Why didn't you get a copy right then and there?
We did. We gave it back to Kathy because
Why?
We had a problem. There was a horse in the stall Missy was supposed to go to.
we had picked out two different stalls to move these horses into, two new stalls. Missy was in a barn stall, and then we were going to have her moved outside to a pipe stall. We picked out two stalls out on the outside to move these horses into.
Well,
and what happened was when we came in to move the horses into these new stalls, they had already moved a horse into the stalls that we were going to move into.
Kathy asked,
After we already made a deposit on the stalls.
which I have the council check.
And we had given her, she took the copy of our contract for Missy. She says, well, I can't put you in these stalls because we've already moved somebody in there and they already put a deposit on the stalls before we did. So
They
she
have
says.
to check the dates on the contracts.
Is that correct, ma'am?
I have no other contract of theirs, but I did tell them that the stall that they wanted, that someone had already put money on it, and that if someone puts money on it, they get it first, that you need to pick a different stall.
Kathy
Did you pick a different stall?
Kathy took our paperwork, said she'd get back to us. She didn't tell us that day. They called us over the telephone, and this is now January, and we were told that there was no stalls on the lower level, and I said, Kathy, I want proof of the date that the other people, because I have a canceled check of the date we put the deposits on them. And Kathy said she'll get back to us.
Let me see your canceled check.
We had a copy. I called them back. At that time, I found out I'm pregnant and I was put on bed rest, which I had an appendicitis a month later, and said that they told me that they would Kathy told me that they would move Missy into Annie's stall.
Well, ma'am, the contract says changing of stalls and lockers must be approved by the office.
It was approved. That's why they cashed our check for a deposit of $2.
I was on the
Check doesn't say what it's for. What was the $667.66 for, ma'am? Do you know?
It was security on two horses stall if they had been in a pipe corral, and it also was for board and a couple of days board for the new horse that never came in.
How do you arrive at this 1509.19?
If I give you a copy of their board card here, let me give you one that doesn't have notes on it. Oh, that's all right. You can have that. The only payment, except for when they first came in, which was on November, which was $275, and then the hauling fee, that means to transport the horse to our place. After that, they paid the security deposit, which is that $676.66, and that's $380 would have been the security deposit, $275 of it would have been the 1 month's barn stall, and then the $1266.
Well, this shows a balance here, though, ma'am, of $1063.34.
Yeah, if you add it up going down the months at $275 per month plus a late fee when they don't pay, it comes out to that amount. They made a payment on April 4th after when we asked them for money and we told them that it was serious, that we hadn't received any money for quite some time from us. They made a $300 payment. And then if I continue down the way, all the way down past June, it comes out to the fee. We had to pay a $50 fee to have them serviced also.
Your Honor,
It's $275 per month.
we
Was it
have
$275 per month, ma'am?
No, we agreed to 190, and we have statements.
Wait a minute. You said you agreed to 190.
Yes,
The first 2 months.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Verbally or in writing?
In writing.
that was the piece of paper that's missing.
The first
that
2
they
months
took.
were $275.
I have their mailings that they mailed us.
If it's 275 that she says, does it come out to 1509.19?
No, because I have their mailed
What
statements.
does it come out to?
It's 190 a month plus.
No. You didn't hear me.
Okay.
What does it come out to? I don't have a calculator in front of me. I haven't calculated it.
Well, she says it comes
But
out to
it's-
1509.19
Plus,
if it's 275.
there's a deposit missing of Missy's of 190. This is incorrect.
Let me see it.
Thank you.
February board was 190. March board 190. Did you see these?
The reason being is that they told our office worker, which is a person who never leaves our office, that they were bringing in a second horse and that they'd be moving both horses into a pipe corral. The second horse didn't come in, I don't know why, and the first horse was never moved. I would not
Was the
move.
first horse ever moved? Was
No,
Missy-
it's not.
Because they did not provide us the stall we picked, the stall she was supposed to go into. There was another horse. That's been the discrepancy this whole time. We said, and then over the phone, they said that they would move her to the horse's stall where Annie's horse died. I said, fine. At that point, our horse was supposed to be in a pipe corral, and they said they were going to move it, and we expected that done.
How much do you say you owe them?
190 for March, February, March, April, May, and June, minus the $300 payment, minus another deposit of $190. We figure it comes to, with late fees, approximately $500.
$540.
I have a videotape to show the difference between a barn stall and a pipe corral. At no time would I
All right,
ever
let me
move-
look at it.
Sure. At no time would I ever move a horse because horses will fight with one another. They'll chew off each other's tails, they'll fight, they'll kick, they'll bite, they'll scratch. I would not move a horse into our owner's horse stall that had just
All
died.
right, explain it.
This is a barn stall, it's shavings, they're bedded well. If you can see that the horse is enclosed in here, there's no way that he can fight with any other horse on either side. This is their horse's stall right here. That's where their horse came out of. We have pipe corrals, it should be the next footage, and there it shows you where the horses are. You can see that there's pieces of wood that the owners have personally put up to protect their horse from the others from biting and kicking.
Anything in that video you want to comment about?
Missy's stall was not that clean with the shavings. We complained about that to Maureen, that things weren't picked up.
Ma'am, what are you here to tell me?
Well, I'm just here as
As a what?
a witness.
Witness to what?
Well, I'm witness to the fact that the horse was in the barn from the time I fed carrots out of a golf cart because I'm handicapped, and I fed Missy all the time. And
Annie, I don't mean to interrupt, but Annie is the owner. Kathy is a manager.
We never dealt with Annie.
The only time we dealt with Annie was the day that I was served the subpoena, and I called her, and she had no knowledge of us being served. She had no knowledge of us ever having a problem with Kathy and having a problem with all the
You
problems.
supposed to move your own horse?
When there's not a problem, which there was a problem, there was a horse in the stall she was to be moved to that we had a deposit to. We took fixing the problem.
on the statement, did you get this? It says the $667.66 was a security deposit?
Yes, for 2 stalls. It's 190. Okay, how they do the deposits, and it's listed on the back, Your Honor, is the deposit is the same amount of what board is. Why would they only take a deposit of $190 if board was only $190? Our deposit for Missy would have been double $275 if that was the case.
Your Honor, because they told our office worker that they were going in a pipe corral. I have our late lists that we do every month, and on our late list, when they are on it and we don't get payment for our board, we ask them why and when are we going to get a payment. And at no time, and this is in Annie's handwriting, my handwriting, the office worker's handwriting, is there any notes on the side there stating the fact that they were unhappy with their stall. All they would say is, my husband's out of town right now, he's a truck driver, I've been in the hospital, as soon as we get some money, we'll be in today. Not once did they say they
Ever
wanted
say
to
anything
install.
like that?
Some of those dates on there's one date in there that they supposedly
Ma'am,
called that I was in the
didn't
hospital.
Wait, I didn't ask you that.
Yes, yes, they were told that we would be in. And yes, they were told that I was on the road. And yes, they were told my wife's pregnant and having a very difficult pregnancy. I've never said that I don't owe them money. It's just the amount of money that we owe.
I appreciate that.
And it's that's been the whole problem all along. I've had several conversations with Kathy regarding the problem of how much money we owe her, and regarding the problem with her not putting the horse. The reason why we asked her to move the horse is because I was on the road. I was not in town.
I appreciate
My
that.
wife could not handle the horse because she's pregnant. And I asked Kathy on several different occasions to move the horse. And she said, okay, no problem.
We talked to the office worker. It all started with the problem with the horses. The first stall had another horse in it.
Take a short recess. I'll come back and give you my decision.
They all got excited. Her 2 dogs lunged down towards my dog.
I called the animal regulations and I asked them about the leash law.
Dog fights, it's protecting your territory,
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
What you folks did is to impose upon me a job that I'm terrible at, and that is adding and subtracting with a calculator that I've never used before. And I think that's what this boils down to almost. But you're in business, and you've probably been in business a long time, and you use a written contract, which I admire you for. But tell me, you don't have to answer this, it's rhetorical. How can you possibly enter into a written contract with someone and not put in the most important thing, and that is how much they're to pay? I told you I don't want an answer because it's not in here.
Okay.
It's not in here. And if it is, then it's not in here. I've had other people look at it too with me to make sure I'm not making a mistake. There's nothing in there about amounts. So then we have to look to interpretation and what each of you says. And we have one saying that it was $275 and there's a contract that's missing. The other one says it's $190. Now your own papers here have November board at $275. Then you've got security deposit for 2 horses at $380, which means that's $190 apiece. My judgment is for the plaintiff for $1,059.19. No, less $50.
What about our
$1,009.19.
What about our other deposit for $190?
It's already given back to them,
It's
sir.
given back once. It's not given back twice.
They left without notice. According to our contract, they have to give us notice to get back their deposit.
When you threaten our horse over the phone that something will happen to her.
Threaten your horse.
Yes, you did. You told me that something would happen
All
to my
right,
horse.
I don't want to hear
did
anymore. Just a minute. The law abhors forfeitures, and that's what this 190 would be a forfeiture because of what you said. If the contract reads liquidated damages, you can get by with it. Which paragraph is it that you say that you can do that?
It said the owner will pay number 3. Upon written notification.
I appreciate that, but unless it says liquidated damages, it amounts to a forfeiture, is what I'm telling you. Judgment for plaintiff for $849.19.
hardest part about it wasn't an issue who was right, who was wrong. It was just the fact of if it was 190 or 275. It was an agreement somewhere in there of what the agreements were.
I think it boils down to we would have the communication between the owner of the property that we were boarding from and us. I don't think any of this would have happened. The threats on the phone call is what the reason why the horse was moved.
When you ask people for money, of course, people may believe that that's a threatening phone call, asking for money.
When you threaten something's going to happen to our horse, what are we supposed to believe?
This horse is like a child to me.
These people are bald-faced liars.
I've had this horse for over 5 years, and it's like a small child to me.
They left their last ranch the same way. They never came out to see their horse. Yes, you did. You left Pam's place the same way. She
it wasn't
Pam's place.
Yeah, Pam was there with Gerard.
It was not
you
Pam's
left the same place owing them money because you weren't happy.
No, I did not know them.
We didn't owe them anything.
If they loved their horse so much, why didn't they come and see it?
I came all the time. You just never saw me.
Oh, then he couldn't pay us any money or say that he didn't want the horse in that stall. No. Instead, he waits till we're here at court to have a problem with it.
I told you several times I wanted the horse.
He told me nothing.
And as we're trying to shut the door, Cupcake, the smaller dog, managed to get out.
Excuse me. Those are completely all lies. I just wanted to say that.
I'm a witness to the defendant's admission of guilt, Your Honor.
The Animal Court is now in session. The Honorable Joseph A. Wapner, Judge presiding.
Morning. I know you've all been sworn, and I have read your complaint. What kind of dog do you have there?
A miniature pinscher?
Uh-huh. And the dog was bitten?
Yeah.
By this dog?
Yes.
When?
March.
In March of this year?
Yes.
Where did this take place, ma'am?
In the stairwell of my apartment.
Was your dog with you?
Yes, on a leash.
On a leash?
Yes.
Was that the same leash you have there?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of dog do you have?
She's a terrier. Mix.
Where was she on this particular day? Do you know? Were you with her?
No, I wasn't with her. I was at work. My kids were at home, and they were moving some things in and out of the apartment, getting ready to go somewhere. She snuck out and went to the bottom of the stairwell when she was walking her two dogs down the steps. And her two dogs, they all got excited, and her two dogs lunged down towards my dog. And
how do you know that?
Well, that's what they were telling me, the witnesses.
You were there?
Yes.
Do you live in the apartment building?
No, I'm a friend of the family, but I was with them at the time.
Okay. What did you see? Tell me what you saw.
We were going out, a bunch of us. It was me and her twin sister and a friend of theirs. We were getting ready to leave. And I heard commotion coming down from the steps. You can always hear our dogs coming down. They're all loud and yapping all the time. And all of a sudden, we're all like, oh, shut the door, so our dogs don't get out or get excited. And as we're trying to shut the door, Cupcake, the smaller dog, managed to get out, and she ran to the bottom of the steps to see what was the commotion and stuff like that. And then I was running over just in time to try and grab her. And just as that happened, her dogs started going nuts and trying to lunge towards.
Well, the dog was on a leash?
Yeah, both of them. And tried to lunge towards Cupcake, and then so Cupcake went back.
Is that a natural thing for a dog to do?
Oh yeah, it's dog fights. It's protecting your territory, And so all of a sudden.
Well, I don't know for sure, but if you tell me I know it, then I know it.
Yeah, well, they were all going at it. And next thing I know, I see three dogs just in a fight. All these three dogs just start fighting. And
did you see Cupcake bite the plaintiff's dog?
No, I couldn't see.
Excuse me. Those are completely all lies. I just wanted to say that.
No,
doesn't help you any.
Okay.
We got all these witnesses who said she's telling me, she's trying to tell us that she saw Cupcake hanging from her dog's leg. I never saw that. I couldn't see any dogs biting any dogs. I just saw three dogs sitting there going at it. For all we know, it could have been her other dog who bit her dog. You can't tell. It's three dogs getting in a fight,
Okay.
So finally, and she's sitting there and the dogs are fighting, stuff like that, and she's begging me to grab the dog. She's like, please grab the dog. So I do the stupidest thing humanly possible, stick my hand in the middle of a dog fight.
And you were bitten?
No, I was okay, fortunately.
Okay.
And I was able to grab Cupcake and get her back in the apartment.
Let me hear your witness. What is your name, sir?
John.
John, were you there?
I wasn't at the incident, no.
What are you here to tell me?
I'm a witness to the defendant's admission of guilt, Your Honor.
When did that happen?
About a couple days after the incident, we went down to talk to her.
What did she say?
And she said that I recognize it's my fault. I'm going to do whatever I can to pay you back. I don't have a lot of money right now. I want to go and talk to the animal doctor,
Did you
work
say
out a
that?
payment plan.
I said that I felt bad that it had happened,
But
and
you
I'd
didn't
like
say-
to help.
you didn't say it
any
was
way
your
I
fault.
can. No, I didn't say it was my fault, but I did say that I'd like to help. I was upset
You have
by
a
the whole
knowledge
thing.
of the leash law?
Yes, I do.
And you know
This was
that you-
inside the complex.
Pardon?
This was inside the complex. It was not outside the building.
Doesn't make
There's
any
a little
difference.
courtyard. I do understand, but she did just.
You can't let a dog go off by itself.
It was not intentional.
It doesn't make a difference if it's intentional or not. You can't do it. Okay. Did you take the dog to a vet?
Yes.
Do you have the vet report
Yes, I do.
and the bills?
Yes. There's 2 statements, too, from the doctor.
What are the pictures there?
These are the pictures of the apartment building to show where I live and, you know, where she is, you know, near me and stuff.
Your vet bill's $245.
Right,
But you're suing for $845.
right.
How do you get to the difference?
Well, $100 more is for the lawyer fee that I had to call my lawyer to write her a letter because she wouldn't respond to me or help me in any way. I asked for small payments. She wouldn't do that either. So then I called the animal regulations and I asked them about the leash law, and they told me that
no, I want to get the damages. Damages.
just the damages is $345.
Well, why'd you sue for $845?
Because the $500 was, I was advised to sue for that for the leash law from the animal regulations place.
This is a relatively simple case. We have a violation of the leash law, so you're liable for the damages to the dog plus the vet bills. The vet bills come to $245. The attorney's fees are not recoverable because they're only recoverable if there's a breach of contract and the contract says the prevailing party can recover attorney's fees. And you don't have a written contract here of any kind. There's no statute that provides for attorney's fees in the event of a dog bite. So my judgment is for the plaintiff for $245.
I feel like I told the truth, yes, absolutely. I feel good. I feel like justice was served. I'm happy.
But it's unfortunate that some lies were told, but the outcome is that her bill is paid, and that's fine.
Well, the lies that were told, everyone knows who lied, and everyone knows who told the truth. This kid here is just a big mouth liar.
Yeah.
As you can see, he's already butting into my speech, so shut up.
It's your moment,
Just shut
your moment in
up.
the light, isn't
That's
it?
right, baby.
Way
I got
to
a
go.
bigger one coming, so watch for it.
That's nice.
Okay?
Thank you.
I don't need
This
this,
is the
believe me.
unfortunate part.
Yeah. Age.
I wish there would have been some sort of outcome on who really was telling the truth. It was simply a dog fight.
I just can't believe people lie like that in front of the law. It's amazing to me.